Hey guys, Rich Davis again. This is video number 2. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the first one. That was great. Really appreciate it. Getting some great responses. This has been a lot of fun for me to do. I'd like to thank Crushing Notes and Dan and Con for bringing me on to their cool company and suggesting I do this. So cheers to them. And I also want to thank my big help for today, my 2 daughters, Taylor and Megan. So I recorded the first video for you guys about a week and a half ago. And I've been kind of busy, so I haven't gotten too much done, but I'm going to show you what I've done. Because we're focusing on, right now, I'm laying some guitar tracks to this new song. So what I've done was, I was able to... Well, first off, what I'm going to do now, with Taylor hooked up, I'm recording this in 4 different ways all at the same time right now. The camera right there, the shoot me right there. I got my GoPro, which is doing this shot over here, which I'll show you later. And I'm also doing, I'm also recording what's on my screen at all times. And then of course I'm using the camera on the computer. So after I record this, I will edit it all together. So when I'm working on the computer, I will just show you the exact screen and make it a lot easier for you guys to see. Because I tried putting the GoPro close to the screen, and you can't read anything. So actually this GoPro is a piece of junk. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to break it down to you guys. This video is basically more for the guy that wants to do this all on his own than the guy that's working in a full band capacity. Because if you've got a functioning band that everybody's working together, you can't beat that. I mean, there's no, this doesn't compare to having actual drummer, bass player, and everybody else. But everybody's got to be on the same page and moving at a good pace. But this is, for my situation, I want to do it all by myself. So I'm just showing you how easy it is to do it. And anybody can do it. Even if you're a drummer, you just learn how to play a couple of guitar rhythms and stuff like that. You write your own song. Because you're going to find out now that this whole thing I'm doing isn't really about the song as much as it's going to be as in pushing the product when you're done. So obviously, to keep up with some of the great metal bands out there, you want to have a good production. Or, you won't even get recognized. So that's kind of what's been going on with this project. I started it to the means of it was I wanted to do it all by myself. So other than writing the songs and everything, that was one thing, but I wanted to produce it, I wanted to engineer it myself. So that's why when I started with like the song Never Say Die, and this, when I put out the, when I shot this DVD of mine, they're all in chronological order for when I wrote them. And I always tried something different on each song. I mixed it and mastered it myself. That's why the production, you can see how it grows. Or, I might have recorded like one, the Immortan. That was one of the first ones I sang to, I think. And the production was bad. I made some bad choices on, maybe the guitar amplifier, because all the way through like past tense and stuff like that, I recorded all the guitars on the Axe Effects too. None of my music for my solo project was going through any kind of amps or mics. I've already done that. First off, living in this apartment, I can't do that. Second of all, I'll never use another microphone. And you got to put 2 microphones at least per cabinet. I usually record 2 different cabinets with 2 different heads. That's 4 mics. You got the phasing issues. It's just a pain in the butt. And plus, once you record it, you're stuck with that sound. So again, like I'm doing it now, there's plugins that sound just as good as anybody can get with a mic, with microphones on it, with a cabinet and a mic. So now we can mix a song and get all the way down to a stage where I got the kicks and snare and all the drums laid out, because I've already got the kick and snare sounds, a good bass sound that's going to be changeable. And as we put the combination, we can try running my guitar, all the rhythms through an angle head, and do a mix with the bass going through an Ampeg head, and then we can change the bass amplifier, and we can change the guitars a bunch of different times just to see what works the best as the combination for that song. So that's why I'm doing it this way. It's really easy, and it gives us some options to give us a better production, so our song will kind of keep up with some of the... I mean, look where I'm recording, and look at the stuff I have. It looks like there's not much here, but of course, it's all expensive stuff. This Axe Effects, which mine's actually a piece of junk, like $3 grand or something like that. I don't know. See my screen on here? you can't even see it anymore. So I got to send it out, and it's going to be gone for 2 weeks. So I use this now for doing leads and stuff like that. Because for some reason, for me as a guitar player, you know I could use the same kind of scratch tracks and throw delays on it, but it just, you know, when you build a delay to the solo, of course you always want to do the tempo to go with the beat of the song. But it's like when you write a solo, you almost play off of the delay sometimes, not like you're hiding the solo, but it gives it the feeling, and you want to record it as you grab that great feeling. I might change that at some point in time, but so I just use this for solos. So, you know, you have your laptop and stuff like that. The program I use, like I said, is Pro Tools, but any kind of program would work. So, I'm going to take a sip of this, excuse me. So what I've done here is I laid down a bunch of basic drum patterns. And I would just come in, like I said, sometimes I'll record with the 8-string guitar, and sometimes I'll record with the 7-string guitar in the same song for rhythms. And I was going to start switching to the 7-string to do some rhythms, but I kind of ran out of time. So far these are just rhythms with the 8-string. But I kind of want to show you how I would track a guitar. I'll show you some of the rhythms. And some of these rhythms, I might not use any of these rhythms. I have no clue what these rhythms are going to turn out to be. But I like to just write a bunch of rhythms, and then I'll slowly start to piece them together and see what works together, and then build off of there. And then if some of the rhythms don't even fit, you just get rid of them. So let's just take a look at kind of some of the stuff. Like, here's the drum rhythm I started off with. Something real basic like that. And then let's just jump through a couple of stupid rhythms. Where was it? Sounds really bassy in here. I never use these monitors when I'm in here. I'm strictly headphones. I mean, first off, because it's getting kind of late. It's about 8 o'clock where I am right now, and I don't want to blast out the neighbors. So I hope you can hear it. I promise you for the next video, I mean, I got all the state-of-the-art, or not state-of-the-art, but I got some good stuff for shooting videos, but the one thing I'm lacking in for this video right here is a microphone for recording that camera. I tried to, I was going to hook up like this SM7B to it, but you need adapters, and this needs phantom power, and next video I promise. So, I'd like to, so some of those rhythms are all kind of, you know, some of them are kind of cool, some are kind of hokey. Like, I'll like to show you like this one rhythm I did here. Now this is, like I said, when I come up, when I play the guitar to those drums, I'll just come up with a rhythm just off the spot, and once I come up with something cool, I'll build on it till it seems like it's a complete part. I'll try to track that rhythm, and I'll try to double it, and I'll try to move on and forget it. So this one rhythm was kind of cool. I don't know if I'll ever use it in a song, but I'd like to because it's fun to play and it's kind of cool. And so let me just basically, let me show you what I would do for that. So again, here are the drums. So it's just a basic thing that I took and I just made it plain, so that way I can come up with some ideas off of that. And then once I have the guitar rhythm that I like, I'll tweak the emphasis, I'll move the hi-hats around, I'll erase the snare, and I'll put a snare where I feel is different. I'll do kicks pattern that I like with that pattern, and then I'll trigger them with the slate drum, through slate drums that can do my samples and stuff. So okay, so here's the 7-string guitar. So what we're going to do is, we're going to hit the record button. Well, we're going to pick the guitar up first. Alright, I hope you can hear this and see this. So this is the 7-string guitar. Let's make sure it's going to work. It's funny how fast they go out of tune. Alright. So when I record, I don't know why it's so loud. When I record the guitar rhythms, even through the song, I never put reverb ever on a guitar rhythm. I want them as bone dry as possible because you're going to try to get them as tight as you can because the type of music I play is kind of a fast type stuff. So you want it to be as tight and jump out. The more reverb you put on something, it pulls it out of the mix. The drier it is, the more it jumps in the mix. And I want things to cut through, like in the song Mantra I just did. When you hear that one rhythm, it sounds like it's a really basic rhythm, but it's really a combination of two different rhythms playing totally different things. So I know it, and when I did the mastering and mixing for it, I wanted to make sure that, you know, I could hear that I was playing that. Now you have to know what I'm playing, and then you'd be like, wow, I hear that on that side more, and I hear that more over here. So that's why, just for the basic track, the guitar rhythms, they've got to be bone dry, and like, I don't know if we're going to pan them all the way or straight across like that, but they got to cut. Now I might do two cool rhythms that work on the same together. And then when you go to mix, you're like, which one, you find the dominant one, then you'll push that more, and then maybe you want to put the next rhythm, secondary rhythm over to the side, or do some fancy stuff like that. So with this drum beat, with this song, I like to do some percussive stuff. So I go, so let me break it down for you. It's basically going out this one rhythm. And then, sorry. So you track the rhythm like that, and you'll go a bunch of times with it until you get it pretty good, okay? So that's kind of, so once you get the rhythm, okay, and say I'm playing that rhythm for the very first time, like the very first night when I came up with it, here's what I did. I played it a billion times, or I played it till I was able to track that rhythm, and then I was done for that sitting in this chair at the point. So you take your rhythm, and sometimes you'll be like, wow, I played it, like I said, I take the drums and I'll repeat them. I repeated that. Look how many times I did that. So I could go through that rhythm, like 6 times, and then I'll think if there's a couple in there somewhere, I'll leave that, and then I'll record another track and mute that, and I'll run it a bunch of times to make sure that when I put the guitar down, I can comfortably feel that somewhere in there, there's a good take, or I know that I hit the first part sometime really good and the end part where I can do some editing to make it work. And let me show you what I mean by that. I'm not a machine. I'm not going to be able to write a rhythm and then nail it perfectly twice. One of these really complicated ones, and be able to hear it really good. So sometimes when you're in the studio, or say you recorded and it's too late and you finally hear something that's weird, you can fix it in editing. A lot of things. So before I get off the track, with this particular type of rhythm, it's a lot of this hammer-on stuff. So, I don't know if you noticed this, but I put this hair tie here, and this is actually just for you guys right now. This is something I would use in a live situation, and when my band Ship was going to play out, I had a solo that had some tapping on it like here, and I had this here, and just as I was about to go to the solo, I slid it up, because I wanted to, because when I record, my guitar is full on. My amps are like full blast, so, and I run 2 different noise gates on my rig, one before the head and one in the effects loop. And with an overdrive on also. I like my guitar, when I just hit it, just and feedback forever. So with a noisy head, you've got to be able to control the distortion, and then doing some of these tapping things, you need a cleaner amp. So when I track my guitars, I use this. This is an old guitar rag. It's disgusting. I've had this since like the 80s, and I would loosely wrap it on my guitar. And let me show you the difference. You can hear the percussive, how much percussive it is. Well, that wasn't a great performance on my part, but it demonstrates that when you're doing a rhythm like that, I want to sound as tight as possible for the record. When I go to play live, if I ever played live, I'd use something like that, and it would just be, what it is for live. My amp's gonna be full on, and I'll play do my best to play it right. So you track a bunch of these rhythms. Let me just erase that because that's crap. And let me go back to something, because I did this before when I did it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Zoom in. I don't know why I set to this. I hate this. When you're laying down the drums and the guitars, always try to, if you're running Pro Tools, be in grid mode. Okay, it locks you in so you don't shift everything off the tempo. So let's just listen to what I did doubling wise. Alright, so I might go and fix that, or if I use that song at all. But before I go to even say that that's even doable, I'm hearing something in there. There's something ringing out. And I think it's this guitar right. Get. Okay, so let's fix that. Okay, and that's right here. That little thing right there is what's making that noise. So, like I told you, always record in grid. That way you see these little line there, and I'll have it playing the video. So now I want to go into slip mode, because I want to grab this part of the rhythm is good. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to hit paste, and now see if it does it. Gone. It's fixed. It still goes over there. So I fixed that one. Now before I do anything, we put it to grid mode. Let me zoom out a little bit. And the guitar rhythm repeats. So what I would do is, if I kept this rhythm, okay, I fixed that part, right? So before you do, I like it, if there's a part that repeats, I might as well just play it one time perfect and repeat it. I'm not playing this like, type of music where, what's the band I'm thinking about? But anyway, I don't care if I can play it a million times. I want it to sound the best. This isn't Dream Theater. This is kind of like, I'm like a Static X type, you know, music. That's what I like. Just the easier rhythms, powerful. Throw a cool solo in there. Once in a while, I have a cooler guitar rhythm. I'm not going to write a 7-minute song full of these 12 measure guitar solos in these songs. I'm going to keep them around 3.5 minutes. Keep it, you know, kind of keep it fresh. Keep it out of the prog and just be kind of the heavier side of things. So I fixed that, and I'm going to hit repeat on this because it repeats. So let's hear the repeat on the rhythm. And then it's going to start again right there. Now you see, I fixed that. Now before we go to hit the repeat, and I'm going to do, you got to save some time, and you got to do crossfades. Every time you're doing a punch in like this, there's gonna, and you see that little punch in, there could be a digital distortion on there. It doesn't happen all the time, but so what you're going to do is you're going to be in slip mode, and you're going to go through this and put it in slip mode. You're going to drag across it, Control F, boom, you put a crossfade. You're going to move over to the next little thing that I did a little punch in and built it. You're going to go like that. You're going to go Apple F. You're going to go like that. I'm not going to do the whole song, obviously. You know, I could probably just go like that and go whatever. So then I'm doing all the crossfades. So then this songs sound perfect like that. And then what I'll do is, let's see, where that in grid mode again? Oops. There. So then I would go like this and grab both those guitar channels in grid mode and then just go up here and hit either duplicate or say I wanted to repeat it 20 times. Hit 20, okay, boom. There's the rhythm perfect and crossfades all done, which you got to do your homework. I'll sit down here for hours and do crossfades, you know, over every little punch in. You got to do it for every time you punch in, for vocals, the bass guitar, everything. So, and that's the only way I know to do it is manually like that. So then you go around and do that, then you build your song, you put it together, and then who knows how it's going to turn out. You know, that's just where I am with this song. I got a couple. For some reason, there's something haunting about that. I don't know if I don't know. Some of these other rhythms, I mean, some of them are just hokey and just absolute garbage, but you never know what would be cool to yell over it or to be in the background of a guitar solo. That guitar sounds like a bass guitar, doesn't it? I mean, that throws out so much low end. And it's because this guitar is probably one of the best sounding guitars I have. It's got the Lundgren pickup in this. It sounds amazing. And if I wish, of course, the Jeff Loomis 7-string that I play also has a great sounding pickup too. So it's when we go to mix it and everything like that, it'll be a little hard to maybe discern the bass guitar, which is a 5-string, with that 8-string. But it doesn't. It doesn't have to stand out. There's no competition with rhythm. It's what's going to sound together the coolest. I mean, it's just going to help support the low end better with different frequencies on the bass guitar. So again, right now I just have these couple of rhythms. I mean, who knows what the hell I was thinking that night? I have no clue. Some more. And that's the 8-string. I can go solo. This will be part of a guitar solo. Or that part. So that could be a background to a guitar solo. I have no clue. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to write some more guitar rhythms. And I'm going to track some more guitar rhythms on the 7-string. and then we'll mix and match. I'll do another video in 2 weeks. We'll see where we are there. I'll still be doing guitars, working on guitars within probably 2 weeks. That kept me up to date with what we've been doing. Again, thanks a lot for Crushing Notes and my girls Taylor and Megan for helping me get this all set. I hope you could hear this, because I know that these speakers sound horrible and really bassy here. I promise you, in 2 weeks on my next video, I will have a better recording device for the camera. I hope you like that. I hope you're learning something, which I don't even know if I'm teaching you anything. But it was cool again. I can't wait to do this again. You're right. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Cool. Thanks again, guys. See you.